This work, Gail.
Oh, Jesus. Not telling you my vision. My vision was to be able to work with you again. You're not really wanting me to do that. No. I'd have to go back and look at my notes.
Your vision notes.
Well, what do you like most about this project?
I like that it makes me think of Julie. And that's why we did it, you know? Yeah. And I like this, that it's got the sun and the river and the farm fields. I think it looks good. I'm happy with it. It's a keeper.
Good.
Of the beautiful stained glass above my head here, panels in honor of Julie Pontasch. Julie unfortunately passed away in 2014 after a 2-year battle with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or as we know, Lou Gehrig's disease. Her career spent working in the development for various academic institutions, including Bowling Green State University and the University of Michigan. She is survived by her 2 children, Ryan Pontasch and Dr. Heather Pontasch, and 5 grandchildren. Am I correct?
Yes.
I'm looking. You're her sister, correct?
Yeah, I'm her first cousin.
First cousin.
We
I'm
were
sorry.
raised together,
I don't.
yeah.
Thank you for coming,
Sure.
and thank everybody for coming. I appreciate you all coming out today and support. But yes, 2 children and 5 grandchildren. Okay, thank you. Julie loved Grand Rapids. She had a great passion for the arts, helping to organize our first Grand Rapids Jazz Fest that will be in its 16th year in 2022, next year. And we're very excited because it's going to be a big deal. We've got a Grammy Award winner today, Gail Christofferson, which you can see her works above me here. And today our dedication is of the appropriate memorial of these stained glass panels in her honor, created by Gail. So if Gail, you'd like to come up and say a few words, we'd really appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my name is Gail Christofferson, and I know Julie because she took countless classes from me when I was teaching Mosaic classes here in Grand Rapids. And she fell in love with the Mosaic process. And so I am so privileged and honored that the Grand Rapids Community and Arts Council and Village gave me the opportunity to make something in her memory. And so I'm thrilled that I had that opportunity. And while I was working on the piece, I was asked what was my motivation. And I definitely channeled Julie while I was in my studio. And one of the things that came to me is I have this poem, The Station, by Robert Hastings in my home. And the poem is about the journey of life. And one of the things that I think Julie epitomized was that she took the time to enjoy the journey. And Hastings in this poem talks about how we're on this train and we're just going through life, passing by all these special moments, and we're not taking time to enjoy them and stop. And we're always, in his poem, he talks about, when I get the house, when my kids graduate, when I retire, then I'm going to be happy. That's when all that stuff is going to fall into place. When in reality, that's not what it's about at all. And I think that Julie really lived her life that way. She wanted to live in the moment. And so I have this poem with me because I wanted to read a little section of it. Hastings says, "Relish the moment is a good motto. It is the burdens of today that drive men mad. It is the regrets over yesterday and the fear of tomorrow. Regret and fear are twin thieves that rob us of today." He goes on to say, "So stop pacing the aisles and counting the miles." And let's face it, we all do that with our little step things now. Instead, climb more mountains, eat more ice cream, go barefoot more often, swim more rivers. In our case, maybe wade in more rivers. Watch more sunsets, laugh more, and cry less. Life must be lived as we go along. The station will come soon enough. While I was making this piece, I thought of Julie because, of course, her life was cut short way too soon. And so the piece reflects the sunsets and the river and the farmlands that we have here, and that I think Julie really appreciated those things on a daily basis. And I think it's our turn to make sure that we do that each and every day in memory of Julie, and also I think it's a good way to go through life. So that was my motivation, and I'm thrilled that I had the opportunity to do this for Julie. And oh, final thing, because everybody keeps asking me, I did inherit some glass from Julie, and some of the greens in the bottom are the glass that I inherited from her when she passed away. I wanted to include it in the piece, so she lives on in the piece as well, spiritually and glass-wise. All right, thank you so much.
Taking over the presidency of the Arts Council, Julie asked me to do that before she died, and I gratefully accepted, but it's been hard to follow in her shoes. Your presence here today is a real tribute to Julie. Friends and family are very, very glad to see you here. My favorite memory of Julie and the Jazz Fest was walking her from 1957 to 2014. The above Mosaic art installation is in memory of Julie Pontasch, who was one of the founders of the Grand Rapids Sunset Jazz Fest, a board member of the Grand Rapids Arts Council from 2004 to 2014, and a person who loved mosaic art. Her strength and faith, along with her love for art, the river, and Grand Rapids, are dearly missed. Artist Gail Christofferson works, sponsored by the Grand Rapids Arts Council.